In this tutorial, we're going to create a spoon using the Revolve and Extrude tools. I'm going to start by going to an orthographic view. In an orthographic view, I'd like to see both the vertical y-axis and then whatever axis you might be in. If it's your front view, it will be the X that is parallel to the screen. If you were in the side, it would be your Z. In this case, it is my XY axis. Now the reason I'm doing that is because it's easier to revolve a shape which will make up this base of our spoon, utilizing that y-axis as a first point at which to drop our CV curve tool points. I'll hold down the space bar, I'll go to Create, Curve Tools, CV Curve Tool, and to the attributes. I'm going to make sure it's set for 2. I'm going to start on the y-axis, and I'll draw what I believe to be that bowl of my spoon. Now, this is the same technique you would use to make your revolved bowl. I'll come back to where I started, and I'm going to hit F on the keyboard to get on top of it. I'll hit return to set the line. I'll right click and choose vertex and make sure that my vertices are against the y-axis. Now I can do so by holding X on the keyboard and snapping to that line. Once I have the shape I want, I'll go back to my object mode. I'll select it and I'll go to surfaces, and I'm going to go to the Revolve menu. And in the Revolve menu, I'm going to go to Edit Reset Settings to begin. And now I'm going to set y-axis, which is usually the default. I'll choose polygons, quads, and count. And I'm going to drop the count to about 150. We can always make this smooth after we've created the object, so the fewer the faces, the easier it is to edit. Once I have got that, I'll hit return to set the number, and I'll hit apply. And if I go to my viewport now, I've got what looks like a bowl, but when I scale it in my top view with my spoon as a reference, I can squeeze it on Z-axis, and now I've got the opening or the base of that spoon. Now I have to identify what I want to extrude this from. So I'm going to pick a face where it will allow me to make it somewhat symmetrical with the handle, which is this side here. I'm going to right click and choose face, and I'm going to click on this face, and I'm going to go to my extrude tool. And when you bring up the extrude function, you'll see everything is contained within it to rotate the scale and transform. So I'm going to start by pulling out on the Z-axis. Now usually a spoon is up a bit, and then I'm going to introduce the full length of the handle, and then I'll fine-tune it if need be using the edge loop tool. So I'll go to my orthographic view, the front, and now I'll hit G on the keyboard, or I'll click on the extrude tool once again, and I'll pull out the distance I want for the handle. Now usually if it's resting on a table surface, that handle would be resting on the table surface as well. So I've just taken a moment to pull that down. I'm going to go to my object mode, and I'm going to center the pivot. Now I'm going to fine tune it using my edge loop tool. Now the edge loop tool is this little open window frame with an orange line going from top to bottom on the left hand side. And if you don't see that, that would be under Mesh Tools, Insert Edge Loop Tool. I'm going to click on that, select my geometry first, click on that, and I'll put an edge in here, and I'll get my scale tool and start to flare it out. And all I'm looking for now is something that looks reasonably like a spoon would be. I'll hit 3 on the keyboard as I'm working to see if I am getting the results I want. Now, it's advisable, depending on your computer, not to edit in the proxy mode, which is 3. It's always better to go back and forth when you add your geometry. So I'll add yet another path here, and I'll probably taper it in at that point, and so on. So once again, I'll hit 1, and I'm going to put an edge over in here to hold the very end together. And now when I hit 3, it's not so rounded on that edge. At this point now, it's really being customized to what you actually would like to have aesthetically. That's pretty much how you would make a spoon using the Revolve tool, the Extrude tool, and the Edge Loop tool.